Hello everybody, Road Warriors 627 here, and welcome back to another Thoroughbred Racing preview here on my channel. Today we're going to be discussing 5 big stakes races on Saturday, April 3rd, 2021 at the Big A Aqueduct here in New York on Wood Memorial Day. We've got the Grade 3 Bayshore, the Grade 1 Carter Handicap, the Grade 3 Excelsior, the Grade 2 Gazelle. It's really a Grade 3, but that's another race that was downgraded that I don't believe in, so I still call it a Grade 2. And we definitely have a Grade 2 caliber field. And the Grade 2 Wood Memorial. I really should have put Grade 1 for that one too, just because I'm pissed off with that. So those are the races we're going to preview today. I'm not going to go super in-depth, but I am going to run through most of the horses in most of the races pretty quickly. But let's start off with some bigger news. This is bigger news and more important information than anything else I say in this video today about any particular horse. The biggest news is NYRA says that they are committed to getting fans into Belmont for the spring-summer meet. Well, they better. Otherwise, I'm going to go nuts and fight them literally any way I can. I don't care what their reasons are. I don't care if it's the state. It doesn't matter. I'm going to fight. If this happens, then I'll move back to advocating for the Belmont Grandstand to not get destroyed, which was my biggest priority before was doubtful that we were going to get in for the spring-summer meet, but now it looks a lot more promising. I also wanted to address one more thing. There was an article that came out in Blood Horse saying that this is beginning a decade of change over at Belmont, which, if you don't know, is 8 miles northeast of Aqueduct. They called it a decade of change is coming to Belmont. Well, I'm calling it a decade of destruction and horror, as you've seen on my Twitter account, because they already destroyed the backyard from the Islanders arena and hotel, and now NYRA wants to destroy the track itself. But let's move on. Let's look at these races here at Aqueduct on April 3rd. All the stakes races, they're all graded. Race number 4 is the Grade 3 Bayshore at 7 furlongs. Post time is 2:33 p.m. And also post time for this entire card, race number 1, is 12:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Take a look at this field quickly in the Bayshore. Number 1 is 2 Boss. Carmouche and Pletcher gonna have to step up. This is a common theme on this card. Pletcher is running a lot of horses that are unproven at higher levels, and this horse is no exception. Back to a sprint with a maiden breaker at Aqueduct here on January 17th at the same 7 furlong distance. Number 2 is Garoppolo for Kelly Breen. Obviously, one of my favorite angles in a short field like this is the longest price, LPSF, longest price short field. Honestly, not a bad play, because yes, the horse needs to improve. Yes, the horse is coming off a ginormous layoff, but you are going to get paid if this horse does anything, even hits the board, especially if the 3 is off the board for whatever reason. You're going to get paid. So, horses can always improve. The last 3 works have been tremendous for Garoppolo over the Belmont training track. I definitely wouldn't sleep on him in this race. Number 3 is the big favorite, Drain the Clock. And it's very hard to see how this horse is going to lose. IRAD is back riding at the NYRA tracks. I know not all of us are happy about that, including me. I feel like it's easier when the Ortiz brothers are not here. Regardless, that's not going to stop him. Ran an okay race in the Fountain of Youth to finish second before that. In all the races he completed, he won. Best speed figures in the field. Just really an obvious winner is going to be close to the pace. A pace that shouldn't be too drastic early. He's going to be very tough. And in the picks, I'm not going to try to beat him. Number 4 is Whiskey Double for Steve Asmussen. Another shipper for Assman. Gonna have to step up. Very common theme throughout all these races. Never run in a stakes race. Did put up a 92 Briz last time, coming from behind at Oaklawn on February 28th. But that race was in the slop at 6 furlongs. Can he replicate that over a fast track we're likely to have on Saturday? And number 5 is Beren for Rob Reed. Park shippers have done well at NYRA since last fall at Belmont all the way through the winter, but he's been winning easy races. The last 2 races that he's gotten the win, a maiden 40 and then an optional claimer. Frankie Pennington does not come in. Manny Franco will ride. For the picks in this race, Drain the Clock just stands out. I wish I had something more creative, but I don't. I will pick him on top. I'm going to go with Garoppolo for second because we have to try and make some money somehow. And to me, maybe the exacta with the 2 and the 3 is the way to go with Drain the Clock and Garoppolo. Obviously, we're going to box it and maybe throw a little win in place on the 2 as well. Just because you're going to get a good price. I don't think the money's going to go to him. If money does go to him, obviously that's a good sign, but I don't suspect it off that big of a layoff. But the last 3 workouts are so good. I really don't have any qualms about Kelly Breen coming off layoffs. He's kind of average with that, but he's not bad. So I'll put him second, Beren third, and then Whiskey Double fourth. Obviously, that puts the 1/5. It's only a 5-horse field, not too significant anyway. The main play is the 2-3 exacta box. Okay, let's move on now to race number 6, which is the Grade 1 Carter Handicap. A very historic race, and I'm glad it's still a Grade 1, and I hope that this year's short field does not demote it just like they've been unfairly demoting other races. Really damn good short field here. Let's start with number 1, Mind Control. Really nice, honest horse. His last 2 races, though, not great. The figure in his last race was good, and he did not go off at a short price. He was actually about 12 to 1, but he also got a fairly good trip, and he didn't get there. I'm honestly surprised he was that long of a price in there with horses like Sleepy Eyes Todd and Firenze Fire. Firenze Fire, a horse that he's run with in the past, and he lost to him by almost 3 lengths. But this horse, one of this horse's best performances came at Aqueduct last year in the Tom Fool when he was way behind and he swept down the stretch. That was a tremendous race. You have to consider him in here. Super Stonehenge, number 2 for Mark Cassie. Another big number last time out. But before that, you're really going to need to see improvement. This horse hasn't won since Woodbine last year in October. Gaff Leone is here to ride, which is a good sign. I'm not in love with this horse, but in a short field, obviously you have to pay attention to the longer prices because weird shit happens all the time. I don't love him, but I wouldn't take you off of him. I wouldn't talk you off of him. Number 3 is Shoplifted, who was my pick in last year's Woody Stevens via the longer Assman angle. Still hasn't won in forever, and Assman has not been doing well at the Aqueduct. I guess that's the winter meet, the stats they're showing, even though they're supposed to reset for the spring meet, which starts today, the day I'm recording this video, April 1st. It's also opening day for baseball. Let's go Mets. I'm not in love with him here. 5 to 1 is a decent price, but honestly, I think he's more like 8 to 1 in here. I'm not going to touch him, unfortunately. Number 4 is Mischievous Alex, as everybody calls him. I've always thought the word was mischievous. But we'll go with mischievous because that's what they call him. I've always underrated this horse. He's dangerous, but number 5 is Chateau. And I think this is Chateau's race to lose. The prices are almost identical, 6-5 on the morning line for the 4, 8-5 on the morning line for the 5. I really can't tell you who's going to be favored. I would suspect it's probably going to be Chateau, just because the Aqueduct bettors are more familiar with him, even though Mischievous Alex has run here at Aqueduct in the past in the Gotham last year. I think this is just going to set up great for Chateau. He could sit outside of Mischievous Alex with Kendrick Carmouche and just pounce at the right time. Those last 2 races where I somehow picked a winner because I liked him in both of them, he is going to be in that prime stalking spot, and those last 2 races have cemented him to me as an early candidate for a prime contender in the sprint division this year. I just can't say no with everything in his favor here. Atris is hitting 20%. Carmouche, despite choking the jockey title for the Aqueduct Winter Meet, 22% over that span. No bets in here. 5-4-1, nothing creative. That's why I'm not giving out bets. Race number 8, post time 4:45, is the Excelsior. Another race, as many races in New York have been ruined over the years by it being shortened a lot. And shortening races is not the way to make races memorable. Let's start number 1. High Cal Aqueduct is the site of his 2 biggest victories. Of course, the biggest one being the Gotham 2 years ago when he came from way back. Great call by John Imbrial in that race. Todd Pletcher. Number 2, Grump's Little Tots won his last in the Fred Hooper down at Gulfstream. I wouldn't be surprised to see a good effort here despite some regression late last year. I think 20-1 is an overlay for him. Rob Atris. Number 3 is Backside of the Moon, and if you're a New York racing fan, you know this horse, and if you're a real New York racing fan, you love this horse. He loves to run in these lower level stakes and always puts forth a good effort. Rob Glasaris claims this horse off Rudy Rodriguez. Number 4 is Limonite, or Limonite, whatever you want to say. Another good one for a low percentage trainer in NYRA Shishakli, but just like Backside of the Moon, likes the upper allowance levels, the lower stakes. He's a good, honest one as well. Number 5 is Modernist for Bill Mott. Well, Modernist. He is not an honest horse. Modernist is kind of this Jekyll and Hyde, what are you going to give for me today? And I picked him second in last year's Belmont Stakes. And he ran like shit. He got beat by 20 lengths. He also got beat in that Peter Pan that was mysteriously run at Saratoga last year by 12 lengths, and not that good of a field. Last time came back with a big number off the layoff at Tampa Bay in the Challenger to get beat 2 lengths, put up a 97 Briz. I still cannot trust this horse. Look, Bill Mott, I love you. I just can't. He's failed me too many times. I have to jump off the bandwagon now. Number 6, Tintoretto. Well, this horse is going to be a ginormous price. Jose rides for Tom Albatrani. Why should I stop you? Seriously, this horse has had only 1 race on dirt. A tough race in the Stymie. Obviously, this race is going to be tough too. But it's also only the 2nd race on dirt. Horse is going to be a ginormous crooked number on the board. Why not give him a chance? Showed some promise, running decent figures in turf races. He wasn't getting anywhere near the front, but the figures on the turf were pretty good. You could do worse than play a couple of bucks on a 50-1 shot. I didn't include him in the picks, but I can't dismiss him, honestly. But maybe I'll be dismissing everybody with number 7, because Mr. Buff is just the coolest dude at the racetrack. I don't think there's ever been a horse out of the last 5 years that has done so well in these New York bred races and lower level stakes races, and then just choke so bad in the big races, like the Whitney, like the Suburban. But this is a lower level stakes race comparatively. He's got the outside post, which is not to his advantage. Chances are he's going to try and clear the field and go to the lead, or at least be right next to the lead, sitting in second on the outside. He's just better than these horses. Carmouche knows what to do with him. He's ridden him twice before. I don't see how he gets beat. He can get beat, but he's not getting beat with my money. In fact, I'm not playing anything in this race. I'm picking the race 7, 3, 4, 2. Mr. Buff's one of my favorite horses. I can't jump off him in this race. I think Backside of the Moon will complete a fairly logical exacta. Let's move on now to race number 9. Post time is 5:20 for the Grade 2 Gazelle. It's not a Grade 1, I'll admit that. But it's also not a Grade 3. I'm tired of these races getting downgraded. It's bullshit. This is the one race where I don't feel compelled enough to go through the entire field, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to highlight the horses that I think have a chance. And my top pick is going to be the first horse I talk about, and also the first horse in the past performances. That's number 1, Hybrid Eclipse for Linda Rice. Another horse that needs to step up. But if you get that 10-1 price, you're also getting a horse that's won the last 2 races, that has a good inside post for this 2-turn 1 1/8 once around the Aqueduct Oval. Why not? Why not? You're going to take search results at even money, or maybe less. Not for my money. You got to always try and find something a little bit more lucrative, and that's who I landed on in here. Is she the most likely winner? Of course not. Did she have an easy trip last time? Yes, she did. Did she have an easy trip the time before? Yes, she did. But often you see, when long shots come in, what's that last number on their past performances? It's a 1. I always like a horse improving out of a race that they've won instead of a race that they've lost. Number 3, also one I'm interested in just a little bit, probably the least out of the 4 I'm going to talk about. First Time Dirt for Graham Motion. And he is 21% with this kind of move. Like almost everybody in here, this horse is going to need to improve, stepping up in class. Now, the Florida Oaks was run as a Grade 3, but it was run as a Grade 3 on the turf. This horse did a little bit of running late at almost 7-1. Just because of the Graham Motion First Time Dirt. That's all that makes me interested. Number 5 is the Grass is Blue, Manny Franco, Chad Brown. This is a horse that's been running at Aqueduct the last 2 times and is familiar with the surface, including the win in the Busan that didn't finish as well in the Busher, but did get a better figure. Uncoupled Chads, you always take the longer one. He just does it too many times. You can't get screwed by him picking the shorter price. Now, I didn't pick this horse on top because obviously I picked the one horse on top. But I did pick this horse second. I don't think there's really that much of a gap. There is a gap, however, because search results, the two races, have been fantastic. The maiden was great on January 3rd, and she won the Busher. Won the Busher a little bit hard fought, but I think she had it measured rewatching the race. Also, however, got an easy trip sitting right off that slow pace. Now, chances are you're going to get another slow pace here today, and this horse is going to have to go a little wide, but is probably going to get a race trip in the clear. I'm just going to simply use the longer Chad angle to put this horse behind the other Chad in third. 1583, my picks in the Gazelle. Now, the bet is a little stupid. I've always thought this bet was stupid, but it's actually paid off for me a lot in the past. I used to play this bet all the time before I was even legally allowed to bet, because of age, of course. And that's a 4-horse exacta box. I know, it seems stupid, but it's worked out for me in the past. I'm going to box all 4 of those horses, $1 exacta box. I've also been trying to stay away from triples because of the takeout. And then win in place on both the 1 and the 3. Those are my suggestions for the Gazelle. And then race number 10, it is the feature, it is the Wood Memorial. It is 1 1/8 around the Aqueduct Oval. If you didn't hear, Capo Kane is out. Number 1 is Brooklyn Strong. And this horse has just about the perfect name for me, Brooklyn Strong. And I let this horse go twice last fall. Once at Belmont and once at Aqueduct. I didn't play him. I didn't pick him. And I bit the bullet twice. He ran a fantastic race in the Remsen. I'm not letting this horse go this time. He is my pick. I don't care at all about the layoff. I know about the numbers for Danny Velasquez, but it's not that big of a sample size. And also, has Danny Velasquez ever had a 3-year-old this good this early in the year? I don't think so. So I am going with this horse. He's obviously can handle a fast track. I don't think the race in the Remsen was an anomaly just because of a sloppy track. Maybe he's a little better on a sloppy track. We don't know yet. He's only had 1 race in the slop and 4 career starts. We're going to find out as he gets later into his career. But I think that 6-1 price tag is going to stick. I don't think you're going to see that much of a dip in price there. Number 2 is Crowded Trade for the Chadster, who just got beat in the Gotham and broke my heart, because this is the horse I picked in the Gotham, and it was such a tough beat, getting beat by a 45-1 shot right on the line. Obviously a major contender. Number 3 is Bourbonic for Todd Pletcher, the second of 3 Todd Pletcher horses today that is in a stakes race that must improve. The numbers are just not there to compete with even Brooklyn Strong and Crowded Trade, who are not even really short prices in here. I don't see it. I want Todd Pletcher when he... Look, I respect him so much. I respect him a lot more than Chad Brown, because I'm tired of Chad winning everything. And I feel like Todd has almost become second fiddle. This horse has been running in optional claiming 50s at Aqueduct and Parks. He's going to really need to step up to run well in the Wood. I commend taking a shot, though. Number 4 is Risk Taking, who I actually have a future bet on in the Kentucky Derby at 27-1. Obviously, in this race, I'd rather take the horse who is the longer Chad Brown, which is the 2. But this horse, won the Withers back in February. Won the maiden race before that. Comparable figure. It wasn't that much higher. But I'm just going to use them both together in an exacta, so it doesn't really matter the order that I pick them in. Number 5 is Dynamic One, another Pletcher horse that needs to step up. I really don't understand the disparity in the morning line between this horse and his other horse, the 3. I feel like, if anything, the other horse should be a shorter price. But I guess the win around 2 turns at 1 1/8 at Aqueduct is what made David Aragona make this horse shorter. Number 6 is Prevalence, the hype horse, who won in that supposedly loaded field on Pegasus Day at Gulfstream, then went out another furlong and ran a pretty impressive time despite the figure dropping and being 1-9 on the board. 3-1. He's going to have to prove himself to me. I do not think this horse is going to be 3-1. I think this horse is going to get bet down. Look, for your sake, if you like him, I hope I'm wrong, and he stays at 3-1 or drifts up, but I think that's almost impossible. If he wins this race and beats these caliber of horses, I'm a believer. This is a really good Wood Memorial field. People can shit on this race as much as they want. This year, it is tremendous. Number 12 is Candyman Rocket. A nice horse, but what happened last time in the Tampa Bay Derby? Literally, what happened? I don't know. He just totally, after 2 nice races, just totally 4 wide, yeah, but to get beat 25 lengths at 8-5. Ugh. Number 8 is Wayburn. It's such a cliche. Because horse racing is full of cliches, and I've used my fair share of cliches on just in this show today. But last time was the time. The horse got a perfect trip sitting off a not-so-fast pace in the Gotham for a 1-turn mile. 24-1, 48 flat, 112-4. Sitting right outside there. And he got up because my horse hung like a chandelier. Love Jimmy Jerkins. Love him. But 9-2 for a horse that had a perfect trip and won the Gotham and was right next to all these other horses that are going to be close prices. I feel like Wayburn had his moment, and it ain't going to happen again today or on Saturday. Look, you like him, you like him. I like horses coming off wins. This horse is obviously coming off of 2 straight wins. 1 at 40, almost 47-1. 9-2 off a nose win in a race where he had everything his own way is just not my style. And number 9 is Market Maven, another Parks shipper. Heard the whole thing with Parks. Again, though, this horse is really going to need to step up. This is a day of step-ups in almost all these races. These nice horses coming from all these places, meeting each other in really good fields, is going to have to force somebody to say, I'm better than the rest of you. That's what's going to happen all day on Saturday. Obviously, I like the 2 straight wins. You could do worse than betting on a 30-1 shot coming off of 2 straight wins. As far as the picks, though, it's Brooklyn Strong over the 2 Chads. I'll put the 2 second just because of the longer Chad angle. The picks are 1, 2, 4, and 9. I'll throw Market Maven in there for 4th. Win, play, show on the 1. Exacta box 1, 2, 4. Those are the betting suggestions. And that's all I have today. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed my preview for the stakes races. All of them graded on Wood Memorial Day at Aqueduct, April 3rd, 2021. Again, post time, 12:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Good luck, everybody. Hope this is your springboard to bigger things to come. later into the spring and summer. Hopefully we'll be at Belmont on April 22nd, opening day. I won't be there because I'm busy, but hopefully I'm there the second day, April 23rd, a Friday. And that's it, guys. Pay your bills first and enjoy a tremendous weekend of racing at the Big A.